Hello YouTube, I got for you guys another Dota 2 video. The first one was my first impression of the game, and this one is going to be an introduction slash first video along a series that I would like to do. It's going to be a very long series, and I was inspired by a guy that set out to play every single Nintendo 64 game. His name is The Beast. Go Google that. He's 84 out of he's 80 something out of 360 in. It's fantastic. But that is my inspiration for doing this. I also picked up a new game that I enjoy, so I want to make the best of it, and I feel like I can do something that would benefit the Dota community a little bit. I am by no means an expert, but I would like to share with you guys what I've learned and share with you guys my journey through learning Dota. So what I have decided to do is play a hero for about a week and then tell you guys what I've learned about the hero. And tell you guys how I've kind of learned what it does and how it functions and what it's good and bad for. But this first one is not going to be very depth because I don't know a lot about the game yet. So I can't tell you guys a whole lot. The hero that I picked for the first week of gameplay was Tiny. And I don't know how to pick future heroes going forward. We'll have to come up with another way to make sure that I have a checklist or something. But being the first hero, I picked Tiny because he's an amusing thing. He starts as a small little rock, and then as he levels up throughout the game, he grows into this big giant golem thing that's amazing, and he progresses in a pretty cool way. I enjoyed the gameplay as he progresses through the game. He's an interesting character. He's not super bulky compared to other heroes that I've played, and he is not exactly squishy compared to other heroes that I've played. So he's kind of somewhere in the middle, and he can be durable, but he's not super durable. He's more of a I don't know how to describe it. Anyways, we're gonna hit the demo hero button, and I'm gonna kind of show you guys some of his progress as he goes through the game. So you start out as this little guy with a rock, and at level 1 I always pick the tree, and this allows me to grab a tree, and the tree attack allows me to do AoE damage, and it has a bonus to the damage, which is really nice. The unfortunate part is you can only hit 5 things with the tree at a time. As I continue to level up, we start working on Avalanche, so we just get 1 point into Tree Throw. We get Avalanche, and we get Throw. The cool part about Avalanche is it will stun anything that it hits, which is really nice. And the fact that it stuns things is super, super awesome. And you get that as a initiation attack, and you can initiate into fights. And then as you level up, I'm gonna go ahead and give him 2 more levels. I put a point into each. First I do Avalanche, then I do Toss. Toss is a nifty skill. It'll pick up a unit of some kind, and it will throw it at another unit. So if I pick this guy up, for example, I'll throw him, and it does damage where he lands. So that's really nice. It also takes up that unit's time, and that unit can be an enemy hero. So what you can do is you can walk in, you can stun him with that, hit him, and then throw him up in the air, which leads to a long duration stun. And if you catch them under your tower with this, you can generally complete a kill. Couple that with the ability to toss a tree if they escape with little health. Throwing the tree does area damage to where it lands, which is really nice. At level 6, I like to grab the, I don't know of a reason why not, but this passive adds armor, bonus damage, tree damage multiplier, and attack speed reduction, making him bigger, but he also walks a little bit slower whenever you get it. I believe it feels like he walks slower. He might not. But he gets bigger, so it feels like he gets bigger and slower. So he kind of gets up. He's better at holding the tree. He doesn't get to carry more trees, which is unfortunate But at this point, you generally end up getting your Ogham Shard at some point. And when you get the Ogham Shard, there it is. He gets unlimited smacks with the tree. So he basically, you pick up the tree whenever after you die, and you have it forever, and the tree can then be used. So now his regular attack for 1400 gold is pretty strong. And then we always end up with items. I guess we'll go ahead and just shop his line. I always buy boots first, and then we kind of go towards getting the boots of strength because I find those really helpful on this build. Tiny is a very slow attacker, and boots of power treads. Sorry, not boots of strength, but the power treads give movement speed, additional attribute, and let me. I gotta do something really quick here. Gotta do it right. So you get an additional attribute based on whatever selection you have. So if you need to regenerate mana, you can switch this over to the mana mode, and it'll increase his mana regeneration. So I tend to go back and forth depending on my needs. So if I'm at full health, I switch over to mana and get my mana back. And then the second item that I like to get for him is the Rod of Atmos, which is used to build the Echo Saber. So the Echo Saber is really strong, but it's 2,500 gold. On the way to Echo Saber, I like to grab the Oblivion Staff. This increases his mana regeneration, gives attack speed and damage, which is really good. This Oblivion Staff is fantastic as a midpoint between the two. And then you build it into an Echo Saber. And the Echo Saber is a pretty cool item. And it complements Tiny really well. Basically, what it does is every 6 seconds you get a double attack. So you can walk up to things and you can go double tap them really quick and then run away. So we have a pretty cool nuke now, right? So we can walk up, we can stun them with the avalanche, smack them twice, throw them up in the air, and smack them a third time, and then run away, which is a lot of damage really quick. And it sucks. You can also smack them while they're in the air from being tossed. So when you toss a unit, it tosses the nearest unit to where you're aiming. And you saw I smacked him while he was in the air. So you can toss him in the air and avalanche. And then avalanche does bonus damage when something is up in the air from... There's an item I'm not familiar with, but it throws you up and it puts you in a tornado. Yeah, avalanche somebody under that, it does bonus damage, which is kind of cool. And avalanche does do a good amount of damage. So the next thing I work towards on Tiny is the Silver Edge, which is built by putting a Shadow Blade and a Chrysalis together. And the Shadow Blade alone, you should buy as quickly as possible. I don't generally buy the pieces for the Shadow Blade, although it's probably advisable. But what the Shadow Blade does is it gives you an ability to cloak up. And this cloak ability also gives you a little bit more movement speed. I'm not sure if it gives you a lot, it's 20% movement speed. But this gives you the ability to sneak up and start an initiation on your terms. And then you can smack them double like that, which is pretty neat. And then again, combo with the avalanche and toss makes a pretty strong nuke. I really appreciate that. And then after that, I always go for Silver Edge. There are situations where Blink Dagger is better, but I'm not very competent with the Blink Dagger yet. So I tend to go for Silver Edge. Silver Edge is basically the same as Shadow Blade, except it has Daedalus added in, because the second piece is Daedalus. This makes Silver Blade, the movement speed is also faster, and the attack speed gain is the same, but the damage is higher, because you also get the Daedalus damage added to it. So it's 52, and you get additional faster run walk speed. And then the initial attack is guaranteed a crit strike damage when you decloak with it. So the initiation for the nuke becomes cloak, smack, stun, throw. And that's a pretty damaging thing, especially coupled with the Echo Saber. So that becomes really strong. And then from there, I tend to like to get Black King Bar because it gives you spell immunity and helps you with your durability a lot. So we go, it also depends. Sometimes I get Black King Bar. Sometimes I start working on Satanic, depending on the situation. So sometimes I'll grab the Morbid Mask. And the Morbid Mask gives you lifesteal, which with the high damage from the tree smacking gives you a lot of health back, depending on how hard you're creeping or how often you're engaging with enemies. Having higher health is always beneficial. So that's the next piece of the build, the Morbid Mask. And then I go, like I said, Black King Bar. And I'm not super familiar with things, but we grab Black King Bar. And Black King Bar is a super powerful item. It basically dispels all debuffs and then reduces magic or grants you immunity to magic damage or magic attacks. So you then are immune to magic attacks, you have your alpha, and you can do some pretty cool things with that combination. After Black King Bar, I like to add in Satanic. Gives you a lot of life steal. So we upgrade the Morbid Mask into Satanic. This is expensive and getting towards endgame. In normal games, I find that the game tends to be ending at this point. You generally don't get more items, but occasionally you end up with a longer game where you get additional items. And this is where my inexperience plays a big role. A lot of people like to break apart their Echo Saber and take the Oblivion Staff and build it into Black King Bar at the Black King Bar stage. And then they keep the Ogre Axe for a little while, and then they sell the Ogre Axe. So we'll say that we sold these two. And they grab a... so now our attack speed's kind of low, but we have these two items which kind of give additional damage and attack speed. The next item that I like to get is the Assault Caress. This gives additional armor and attack speed. And then this will make Tiny's slow attack speed get a lot higher. So now he actually attacks pretty quick, which is really nice. And when you start attacking structures, he does really good. The next item that I like, and you can kind of see where we're going with this. We're going for higher attack speed. We'll go ahead and grab our... it's not on here, is it? It's in upgrades. We end up working towards... I don't know if I can find it in here really quickly. The Moon Shard, which is 2 of these Hyperstones. So you buy the first Hyperstone, and again, that increases your attack speed, which is really nice. And then you buy the second Hyperstone, and you end up with a Moon Shard. And then you see we're kind of making up for... I'm going to spawn an enemy here just to have something, but our attack speed gets a lot higher with the Moon Shard. And then if the game continues to progress, sometimes it's worth it to grab the Scepter, as the Scepter gives you a really strong volley with your tree volley there, which is pretty neato. It kind of, you get in the middle of a bunch of trees, and then you activate it and it throws all the trees wherever you told them to throw them. I don't use it much because I find that his kind of melee attacking is where things are at. And then once you get enough money, you're going to buy a second Moon Shard. You're going to consume this. And when you consume this, it gives you a permanent buff of one of the Moonstones. And you can increase your attack speed further. And then at this point, I generally will sell my Power Treads as well, or break them apart and get Boots of Travel 2, because you're at a very high value. And you end up with this crazy attack speed. And it really doesn't matter. You can bash pretty hard. Oh, geez. That didn't work. It just killed me. But at that point, you're also approaching max level. As I go through here, I tend to go Strength, Avalanche. Toss requires no target, so you can target the ground as well as an enemy unit. I don't find this very useful, so I like to get the tree growth, but I know that the little recommender says 100% on this one. And then 2 toss charges, so you can toss them up in the air, and they fall, and you toss them right back up in the air. And it's really annoying because it adds a duration to the stun quite a bit. But since we just hit max level there, I'm going to go ahead and grab all these. And now Tiny's in his big form, does massive damage, and basically has the dream lineup of items here. he gets a little silly. His smack is for quite a lot of damage, and he can just kind of go ahead and kill everything at this stage. But if you get to this point, the game's either over or it's a tense game. But this is the build that I've been enjoying. I've been enjoying initiating with it and getting into fights with it. I generally do okay, but I'm pretty bad at the game. So I still lose a lot of my matches. And by no means am I an expert. I just wanted to show you guys kind of what I learned about Tiny. His stun is pretty cool. I quite enjoy it. And I find it fun to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed my second Dota video, and I would love to see comments on what heroes you would like to play next. Maybe we'll get the top rated comment of the last video or whatever be the next hero that we pick. So comment the hero that you'd like to see me play next, and the one that gets the most upvotes, I'll play that one next if I already haven't played it. I think that's one fun way to do it. And I will see you guys in the next video, and hopefully as I do these videos, I'll get better at telling you guys about the items, and I'll get better at telling you guys about differences and hero strengths and weaknesses. I like this guy because of his nuke ability. With the Silver Edge, he's got the cloaky walk, and he can be a sneaky, scary thing that's quite fun to play, and he's been my favorite so far because of his ability to just kind of come in and do that, which I really like. Anyways, make sure you guys continue bringing each other up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Also, if you want to watch me learn these heroes, make sure to subscribe on Twitch and help me learn Dota a little bit better, as I'm still pretty new to it and I don't understand it quite as well. But I'll see you guys in the next one.